The UN General Assembly witnessed yet another classic war of words between the United States and Iran. President Trump says he believes Iran will be forced to come back to the bargaining table one day because their economy is suffering. And President Rouhani, on the other hand, says it will be the U.S. who will come crawling back. We spoke to Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi on this topic. I'm Frank Ucciardo, and you're watching TRT World One-on-One Express. Mr. Minister, we heard a lot of anti-Iran rhetoric from the United States President in the General Assembly and also in the Security Council. And it seems like his wish to kind of generate more rhetoric and controversy around Iran is kind of failing, and that he's not getting the support of a lot of the member states.
Yes, there are lots of rhetorics, and I have to tell you that we have get used to those kind of rhetorics. It's not something new. It's now about nearly 40 years after the revolution, and American presidents have always made the same mistake, trying to speak with the Iranians with the language of threat, which have never worked and would never work in the future. We have proved that we will only answer to the language of respect.
President Hassan Rouhani's press conference seemed to primarily deal with the Iran nuclear deal and the U.S. pulling out of that deal. And it seems like the U.S. is not making any friends because they've done that. And it seems like Iran is really getting more and more support instead of being isolated, which was the American president's intent.
You are right. The fact is the nuclear deal is not between Iran and the U.S. It is not even between Iran and the so-called 5+1, nowadays 4+1. It is, in fact, a deal belongs to the whole international community because it is endorsed by the Security Council. Not only endorsed, it is actually integrated into a Security Council resolution. Resolution 2231 has made JCPOA or the nuclear deal as one of its annexes. So it is, in fact, an integral part of the Security Council resolution. In this sense, it belongs to the whole international community, and in this sense, it's as a kind of commitment and obligation for the whole international community to support the nuclear deal and try to implement the deal or facilitate the implementation of the deal in good faith and in a constructive atmosphere. When the U.S. withdrew from the deal, it has actually violated a Security Council resolution. As a permanent member of the Security Council, the U.S. is violating Security Council resolution. And now today, President Trump decided to go to the same Security Council, condemning Iran for abiding by to the Security Council resolution. It's really strange.
One of the things a lot of people are talking about is how is Iran going to protect people that go along with it in this Iran nuclear deal from sanctions from the U.S. Trump threatened entities, saying any entity that will do business with Iran will suffer severe consequences. What do you say to that?
Well, we are working very closely with other countries, especially with other participants to the JCPOA, China, Russia, and the 3 European countries, and of course the whole European Union. So in fact, the whole 28 European countries are a part of this. I think everybody accepts that these sanctions imposed unilaterally by the U.S. is not legal and it's not logic.
Do you believe that there's been a war of words between the U.S. and Iran? Do you believe that this is going to escalate into some kind of military conflict between the two countries down the road? It doesn't seem like there's anybody's seeking peace here.
Actually, in real world, in politics, everything is possible, and we have to be always prepared for the worst case scenario. But if you ask my opinion, I think war is very far from us. I don't think that the U.S. would be that much naive to wage a war against Iran, because they know better than anybody else our capabilities to defend ourselves and our capabilities to actually retaliate in a real war, which we hope it would never happen. But we enjoy a very good defense structure, and I think everybody knows, especially in our region, the expenses of a war, or let me to say another war in a region which is full of almost everything. You know, we have everything, unfortunately, in our region, from war and civil wars to tensions to terrorism, extremism, everything is there. I hope nobody would prefer another war in the region, or would prefer another a nuclear crisis once again in the region.